Wow, we almost had a spit take.
Jeez,
That was crazy.
dude, come on.
No faith over
That
here.
was so inappropriate. I feel so bad about that. But
Dang.
the question lead was crazy
Impossible,
question
man.
lead. We're talking about laying back.
What's up, everybody? Happy Motor Stardom Tuesday. It's the Motor Stardom show. It's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. We had an awesome weekend in Daytona. A lot of fun, as you saw a small clip from our Garrett Smithley feature on the live Motor Stardom show. We had Caesar Baccarella on that show as well. It was an awesome weekend. Parker Clearman got the victory in the Xfinity Series. Ryan Blaney got the victory in the Cup Series in an incredible last lap turn of events. There was a lot of implications that happened throughout the weekend. The playoff picture is set for the Cup Series. And Mason Maggio has a really fun throwback scheme for Darlington that we will show on the show. Mason Maggio isn't here tonight, unfortunately. Busy week for Mason. He's racing this weekend at Darlington, raced this past weekend at Daytona. So for all the people looking forward to seeing Mason Maggio, I'm sorry. But you do have this guy, Day 2 of law school, Stephen Malazzi, dressed for the occasion.
First day on the job, baby. New gig.
First day of the job, too. That's right.
Yeah. Look at this. New credentials. You see that?
Oh, boy.
That's a handsome man right there. Looking fly. Yeah, Mason Maggio is just being a bitch. I mean, I'm racing next week at Darlington. I'm working in law school. How can he be busier than I am? Little freaking ding dong out there looking head ass, looking Mason Maggio, looking MFer. How are we doing, RJ? We recovered yet fully from Daytona week?
Yeah, still catching up on sleep. Took a nap today. Took a nap yesterday. It was a long weekend in Daytona Beach, but it was a fun one. The weekends in Daytona are always going to be long, at least me. I'll be at the track for a while, and then sometimes we were at the track a little longer than some people usually are. So happy Motor Stardom Tuesday, fellas. Motor Racing Weekly says Mason better have a shaved beard. Doubt that. But maybe he will. Maybe he's looking fresh. Actually, if he's doing throwback weekend, technically what a lot of people do is they shave the beard, go to the mustache. So maybe that is what he's doing. And Seamus says Mason Maggio is out with some mom right now. Maybe that's why he's bailing on us. And,
Mason Maggio? Oh, my God.
Mason Maggio. And what up, Checkered Flag? Damn.
Every week, Checkered Flag Dan gets shout out.
Welcome into the room. And speaking of shout outs, we're going to shout out Density Energy. Big weekend. Density Energy. Remember to use code Maggio15 on Amazon.com for all products. They were on board Mason Maggio's car, as well as they will be on Mason Maggio's truck.
Yeah. Look at this. I mean, look, this thing is beautiful. This thing is just gorgeous. They nailed it. Density nailed it. Mason Maggio nailed it. I don't know who he uses as the designer, but Rayon Brothers Racing nailed it. Fantastic. All the way around. Great job. I'm doing a throwback to one of my last starting parks. Mechanical issues.
Colby Evans.
This is a great scheme, though. I memean, honestly, just fantastic job. This is what we love to see. And honestly, I hate the teams that don't participate in throwback weekend. I think it's awesome. Some people are like, oh, well, what about sponsor continuity? We don't have that anymore. Nobody has the same scheme every week, except for like maybe two cars. Like Joey Logano has the same scheme every week. Chase Elliott's pretty consistent. But everybody else switches every other week. So why can't we just enjoy the throwback schemes? Have some aura, This is aura right here. This is what greatness looks like. Well, I don't know. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man.
You like that? You like that scheme?
I love it. Awesome paint scheme. He was telling us that they were doing a throwback scheme, and this is awesome. I don't think I've seen this before. I can't remember. It's rare now. We get into throwback weekend and we see some unique paint schemes as far as doing like some real classics from back in the day. But this is cool, really creative, very creative scheme, putting Dempsey on the car in place of Aaron's, obviously. So really looking forward to seeing that on the racetrack. I think opportunity for a great show. Darlington is driver's racetrack, and Mason Maggio can go out there and let it rip. If Stephen Malazzi doesn't burn off his tires in the opening laps, then Mason Maggio may have a good race.
Hey, you're revealing stuff that nobody knows, man. You gotta chill on that one. Nobody knows that. Only you know that. Only I know that. Yeah, I'm excited to go to Darlington though. That's one of the challenging racetracks that everybody wants to try. So I think it'll be interesting. I know Mason Maggio's been there before. He's been there in a truck before. So we'll see what kind of run he can put together in the 22 Rayon Brothers Racing Ford F-150. He's got a tough 34th place performance by Stephen Malazzi to follow up. Look at this. I mean, look at this photo. Does it get better than that?
Not at all. That's the squad. That's the squad right there. The Motor Stardom show before the Xfinity race. Like, might as well get a flick with Mason Maggio before he went out there and finished 15th. I know some in the chats have made congrats. So, yeah, check flag Dan said congrats to Mason on a good run, and it was. The car wasn't clean by any means, but was anybody else's, really? Let's be honest.
Maybe the top three.
Yeah, he said, quote unquote, felt like Cole Trickle going through the crash and then got a headache all night from the crash and could not join me and Stephen Malazzi out and hanging out with Garrett Smithley, who also had a great run. We'll talk about him a little later. But how about the Motor Stardom trip on Stephen Malazzi?
Yeah, I actually stole your polo. I still have it.
You did? Yeah, I realized that.
I brought it back with me. It's now my Motor Stardom polo. I will say the see-through really revealing. I mean, this needs like a content warning. There's a lot of nip action going on this one. I mean, can we zoom in on the left nip here? I mean, that thing is out, man. That thing is showing.
Yeah, but cannot zoom in on it right now, but that's probably a good thing.
I mean, purely a great photograph. Great photograph.
Yeah, so, I don't know who exactly took it, but they cooked. They cooked, and so did they.
With Maggio's photographer.
Yeah, something like that. So shout out Maggio's photographer. Sorry we don't have a name. Gallant Downey in the chat talked about the scheme. Do you think we get a diecast out of this, man?
No, only because I don't think it gets the minimum order quantity. But I mean, I think they should, right? They used to not have the minimum order quantity that they have now, but now it's like obscenely high. And like in the truck series, not many people are ordering the MOQ to get these produced, but I think it'd be great. I mean, there are not many cars as gorgeous. This is so well done. I mean, they killed it. They knocked it out of the park with that one. So yeah, I bet you'll get a lot of coverage too, because whose car is that, RJ?
Whose car is what?
The 99.
Oh, Michael Waltrip, who's in the Fox booth.
Who's in the Fox booth? Yes.
Via satellite, probably, I'm sure.
Don't even get me started on it. Don't even get me started on it. But yeah, I mean, it's only an hour and a half away, maybe 2 hours. So I would hope that they just make the trip from Charlotte.
No.
But that's not. Do you know that for a fact, or are you just making an assumption?
I'm making an assumption that they're not going to travel to the racetrack. I guarantee it.
Rip.
I'm just saying they didn't even travel to Rockingham. So, just saying. Unfortunate reality here with Fox, but Darlington's going to be awesome this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about Daytona. We're going to go ahead and just kind of start with the Cup Series here. Big storylines. We got the playoff picture all settled out. We can look at it right now. Everybody is seeded 1 to 16. Everybody from 7th on back, pretty tight in points. And then you get up to Shane Van Gisbergen, who has a plus 16 advantage. Bell, Blaney, Hamlin, Byron, Larson, all in decent spots unless they have some bad races. But as we've learned in this playoff format, certainly anything is possible. We've seen people go into the playoffs opening round plus 30, plus 40. I feel like right now this is relatively kind of close for everybody. Kyle Larson can have a bad race and be below the cut line after Darlington somehow. If
Yeah.
everybody has a good race, or at least the second race. But nonetheless, this is the picture. What any bold predictions? Do you have somebody that maybe a lot of people think are going to get out in first round that you think advance?
No, I think there's a pretty stark divide here, right? Like I think there are four cars that are substantially worse than the rest, and I think those four cars are going home.
Yeah.
So and you look at it, right, and you know that the like SVG has a 16-point advantage on the cut line. That is not enough. That will not get him through to the next round. See, when I first looked at it, I thought it was going to be like 22 or 23 points. And I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance. I think those 7 points are huge. I don't think there's any shot he makes it. I really don't. Because you think about it, right? Like, let's say Joey Logano finishes 13th on average at an oval, right? Because Logano is at the cut line or pretty close to the cut line. That's still 10 spots a race better than SVG's average finish at an oval, at least. So you got to figure he's making up 10 points a race. That's not a big enough gap to hold off anyone, right? Not a single car. And granted, there's going to be some variance in that, but I don't see it happening. I see Dylan going home. Dylan is a Richmond merchant. Honestly, phenomenal race out of him. Happy for his guys. He has not shown speed pretty much anywhere else. There's a few races. I think that was actually his first top 5 of the year. Probably. If I'm not wrong, was Richmond. Maybe his second at best.
It sucked this year.
Yes, it's been awful. He's going home, right? He's not going to run well, I don't think, at Darlington. I don't think he's got a shot. Barry, I think, is going home. He had a great opening 8 or 9 races of the season and has been abysmal, completely abysmal ever since. And I don't think you're going to turn that around in a 3-race stretch. I think they're missing something big, and they just don't got it right now. Cindric, I think, is a leap behind everybody else. At 1 point is not – the grid is really misleading because you're looking, you're like, man, Cindric's ahead of 5 cars, but he's 7 points ahead of the worst one of those. So I think Cindric's going home. And so I think it's Cindric, SVG, Barry, and Dylan, right? I think those are my 4, and I think I'm pretty set in that. I'm not going to feel any other way. Could we see one of those cars replaced by maybe a Ross Chastain, who has struggled for stretches and been a very hot and cold driver this year, or maybe Joey Logano, who hasn't been the best either? Yeah, I think we could, but I'm pretty set that guys like Larson, Byron, Hamlin, Blaney, Bell, Elliott, Briscoe, all locks to make it in. Like I would be staggered if any one of them missed the round of 12. So
yeah, I think to me it's a really interesting playoff to me. I think a lot of years, it just seems a lot more unpredictable this year. I feel like at least when we really get to the round of 12, you could say the round of 16, and we have our crop of drivers that we believe are likely going to be out. But every year, I feel like every year there's always one surprise that's out in that first round. There's always at least one guy that maybe most of us didn't have in that first round. So like you mentioned, we look at a Joey Logano, we look at a Ross Chastain. Would that be super surprises? I feel like kind of just because of where we expect them to be. But when we look at this graphic, obviously they're not too much separated from the rest.
Yeah.
But, do we see a Chase Briscoe just struggle? I mean, all it could take is a DNF, opening race, some other issue, second race, and you're in a really bad spot that last race. Austin Cindric, really, really intriguing one to look at, right? Last time we went to Gateway, who was incredible, Penske.
That's a good point.
And I read about that earlier today.
That's a great point.
Yeah, they were on rails. Do they come back with that same speed? That's totally possible. Bubba Wallace.
As a matter of fact, all of Penske, just to real quick while you're talking about Gateway, and then keep going, all of Penske was on rails. Blaney had that race won, right? And ran out of gas. Cindric was on rails. Logano was fast, but had a problem and was like laps down. They were all good cars. And then I'll let you keep going, and then I'll jump back in when you're done.
Yeah, you're good. I was gonna say, Bubba Wallace is very, very up and down, right? Their big struggle throughout the year is getting caught up in those wrecks, getting caught up in messes that they probably shouldn't be a part of. They've certainly got it together a lot more these last 7 weeks, but can they get it together in playoffs? I believe so. But we'll certainly find out. You mentioned SVG, really intriguing one there. What kind of progression has he made to be able to have a fighting shot in these 3 races? I have more faith in him at Darlington than any other track. I think he's got to get off rolling because Gateway is a track he's never been to before. That's not going to bode well for him. He's not going to be good there at all. And then Bristol hasn't been too strong for him either. So it's just really intriguing list, man. I think we're definitely going to see one surprise, but could even see two. Who knows? We haven't talked about Tyler Reddick yet either. Very weird year for them. 7th in points. So this consistency should drive them, but just the confidence hasn't been there. I mean, even Daytona, he's getting out of the car pissed as hell because they had a bad race. So I haven't talked about Alex Bowman yet, right? It's weird playoffs, man. I think anything can happen. I think not a lot of people are going to get this first round totally correct.
And I will say this. I find myself, again, frustrated by the playoffs. And I know I hate to be doom and gloom. I'm very excited for it. I think it'll be entertaining. But again, from a racer standpoint, from a format perspective, right? You look at this. Briscoe is 8th. Cindric is tied for 9th, right? In the playoff grid. Briscoe had 200 points on Austin Cindric after Daytona. And that just disappears. It's gone. The 26 races that they just ran throughout with consistency, they were very good. They were solid all season. They had a tough start, and they got it together. That 200 points is meaningless. And I think it's so interesting that that's the way we kind of view it. I think Larson out in round 1 is crazy. I think it would be really hard for him.
That would be insane.
And he's so good at Bristol.
They've had recently.
He's so good at Bristol. I don't think I see that happening. But it's even crazier when you go back and you look at the fact that Briscoe and Austin Dillon are 6 points apart, and Austin Dillon was 300 or 400 points behind Chase Briscoe after Daytona, and now somehow we separate them by 6, which I guess is again, stick and ball sports. It's very much in that spirit where the 8 and 9 Giants get to play the 13 and 3 whoever when they went to the Super Bowl that one year. And all of a sudden it's an equal playing field based on one game, right? But I just don't – that's never been motor racing to me, and I don't love that. But great playoff grid. I really don't know who's going to be the champion this year. I couldn't tell you.
I got Willie B. I got Willie B this year. I did my bracket on the bracket challenge or whatever. And it didn't let me see what my – I don't know. It didn't let me get a picture of what my bracket was. But we'll figure that probably just have to custom make it. But I got Willie B this year. That's going to be my championship pick, at least at the beginning of this playoffs. Yeah. I believe my final 4 was Byron, Blaney, Bell, Hamlin, I think. That was my final 4. I think that's just the crop right there. As much as I want to say Bell get it done in Phoenix again, I just think it's Byron's year. They've been really consistent. Bell, that team's kind of slid as of late. They're really good at Phoenix, but getting ahead of ourselves here. I'm just giving my chance. I don't even want to get into the round of it. This round of 16, I think it's going to be so intriguing that I just want to stay focused on this. Three really great opportunities for fun races here. Darlington ideally should be good. Gateway, we want to be good. Bristol, we want to be good. But again, we're talking next gen car. If we can just bring a nice tire, maybe that can add some dynamic racing. But either way, Southern 500, the vibes are going to be good no matter what.
Yeah.
So, oh geez, got a big comment here.
Oh God, ball licking MFer. I swear to God. And then what? You haven't won a playoff game since the last time there was a playoff game. I'd never driven a go-kart before. You freaking bozo. Go eat a sack of nuts.
Yeah, PJ in the chat.
PJ. Yeah, baby. Love that guy. I actually might come hang out. I might go to Florence. It's the site of my first ever stock car race with Spotter Peach on the mound. I was the co-best man at his wedding.
Wow.
Good time. I heard I gave a fire speech. I don't know though. I don't know. It was a great ceremony. Beautiful wedding. I'm
sure you did.
We went to the casino, and I was down like $400 or $500, and I had like $20 left or $15 left, and I put it all on 22, and it hit. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I lost it all again. Brutal. Disaster. But it was a great time. I think it was the first time PJ had ever been to a casino. Yeah. So maybe I will go to Florence and hang out.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it. Let's take a little 50-second or 58-second break here. Let's watch the finish from Saturday night.
By Credit One Bank, Cole Custer has gone to the front of this race.
He's gotten way out in front, though. Look at the gap that he's given Blaney.
Larson in the middle. Haley down low, being pushed by Chris Buescher. 3 hopefuls in the top 4 positions. Now Haley goes up to the fence, comes back down across in front of Cole Custer. Ryan Blaney now comes into the mix. Can you believe the finish that we are about to see? Cole Custer and Ryan Blaney. This would be epic for Haas factory team. Ryan Blaney ahead of Custer, coming to the line. Ryan Blaney's gonna do it. Wow, they spin across the line, but it's Blaney who
Absolutely
gets it
wicked.
done.
4-wide finish to end Daytona. We were all there for it. Breathtaking. I mean, I'm sitting there. Were you still on the 66 box for the finish of that?
Yeah, I was on there with Mason Maggio. Truly may be the best super speedway race we've had with the next gen car. And like, look, is it perfect? No, there's still a lot of issues. I am sick of the fuel saving. I'm sick of some of the stupid tweets that are like, oh, look at so-and-so leading. Well, let me tell you, I was on a pit box, 66 pit box, and you could see the times. Like somebody tweeted, oh, I think SVG's figuring out this oval thing, right? When SVG was leading, they were running 48.4s. Like they were 2 seconds off what they could run flat out. I think the best lap was a 46.2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I probably agree with you, but
I'm a high side roller, man.
I am too. Well, I've never done it, but if I were, I'm a high side guy.
Me neither. Yeah. Racing.
And like, it's an encouraging sign. It's an encouraging sign to see that we can have these good plate races. And also what was really encouraging was we got a super speedway race without a huge wreck at the end. That ended very clean, and it was a phenomenal photo finish. I think everyone in the NASCAR world, and most of us, are relieved that somebody didn't win. That was like the 41 or the 7, because now we can enjoy this finish for what it was instead of having to talk about how frustrated we are that the car that's 8th in points got knocked out of the playoff by the car that's 34th again, right? Yeah. For me at least, I'm like, yes, okay, that is fine, but it is unreal that the remainder of the top 6 all needed that win to get into the playoffs, and somehow Blaney pulled it off. Yeah. Blaney is this generation's best plate racer. In the next gen car, he's just the best plate racer out. He always finds a way to be there at the end. And that's a key, right? Like, he ran a great race. I mean, he went from 13th to 1st in 2 laps, is quite literally Dale Earnhardt level shit. I mean, we always watch the replay of Dale going from 18th to 1st in 5 laps. 13th to 1st in 2 is just as impressive. Different era, so I know that's a little bit of a crazier take, right? But still, an unbelievable feat, like legitimately unprecedented in the next gen era to do something like that.
Yeah, I think it was awesome the way that he was able to just run the outside. You look at what the pack looked like with 3 laps to go, completely different than this. It looked like it was going to be just a 2x2, which you've seen that in a lot of these next gen restarts. It's hard for a lot of people to get out of line and make that commitment. They just stay 2x2, and we just see a drag race between the 2 lead cars. But I knew that wasn't going to be the case because we knew the situation. Everybody heard about what happened to Ryan Preece. I mean, you see him 18th there in the leaderboard right now. He was up front. He was one of the lead cars, and the people that, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, behind them, they knew the situation. They were told on the radio, hey, if we get a new winner, Alex Bowman doesn't make the playoffs. They had to make that move. Well, they made that move anyway to try to win the race, probably, but they knew they had to make that move and do something to save Chase Elliott. Now they're probably holding their breath right here as we get to the finish line, but what a move by, obviously, Ryan Blaney, but Cole Custer. Cole Custer was the one that got that started on the outside lane. He decides to make it work. Blaney was saying after the race that he radioed in to the 41 team and said, hey, if you guys are ready to go to the 3rd lane, I'm with you. I'll come right with you. They waited all the way until Preece got sent down the middle. They make the move to the high line and they just rip it. You got Daniel Suarez, who was also like 14th, I think, 3 laps to go. And Eric Jones. Eric Jones finished inside the top 5. He got 5th, right? At the end of all that.
After he was leading, and then he got shuffled out, went all the way back to 23rd. By Larson, by the way, probably on purpose that Larson shuffled him out.
Oh, Larson, they were absolutely destroying
Yeah.
His back bumper. They knew the stakes there. We'll watch him come to the finish here one last time.
Great save by him, and then just drove through the pack. I actually have a theory that the third lane worked tonight because there were Fords on the outside, specifically a Penske Ford, right? I think those Fords have something a little extra. I mean, we see it during qualifying whenever we go to a super speedway, but I think with their little extra something, they can just find a way to get there. I just think they got it. Like, I think they know something. And I think when they want to try and generate those extra runs that some other teams can't, I think it works much better for them. I mean, it was awesome. That was phenomenal. And if Custer doesn't throw that block, I think he wins the race. I really do. Because who knows? I mean, I don't know how long Blaney stays committed. Probably not all the way to the finish line, but probably long enough to get clear 1-2 and then make his move.
And I think Blaney's pushing, but Blaney's not super crazy about making a life or death move on Cole Custer there at the end if Custer's on the outside. I mean, clearly they were already planning on working together, and Blaney was in a spot where he probably didn't mind. He was going to push forward to a win. So he probably, Custer stays high. A lot of what ifs in those situations, right? A lot of things happen. Cole Custer came in. It would have been a party, that's for sure. If Cole Custer won that damn race, Stone Cold Cole Custer was going to go absolutely bananas. But it was Ryan Blaney.
First top 5 for him since his win at Kansas.
Yeah, Kentucky. R.I.P. Kentucky.
Right. Bless up.
Yeah, no, don't bring it back. Anyways, let's go ahead and.
I actually think it'd be good with the next gen car. I'll be honest with you. I really do. I think it'd be good.
Depends how the surface is aged.
I agree, but I think it would be way better than it was with the Gen 6.
Because the problem was it became a one groove racetrack when they repaved it and then put traction down because the repave was garbage and nobody could pass because they were running the 550 package and everyone's running behind each other. Then if you moved out of the traction, you were just wrecking yourself. So I don't know. Either way, we got Chicago back, and that's all that matters. Let's transition over to Xfinity Series race. Parker Kligerman got the dub in this one under caution. Two somewhat different finishes. Two somewhat different races, right? Packages race completely differently.
And I'll say
about this, I really love the Xfinity Series package, the way it races. Look at how spread out they are. But watch these runs. I really love this blimp cam because you get an idea of where everything's at. Here comes Austin Hill. He's getting shoved. He's going to shove Nick Sanchez. He's going to send him out of the way. And then we're just going to go down to the corner here, and we're going to wipe out the entire field. Garrett Smithley does a 360, finishes 8th. Somewhere in there's Mason Maggio as well, trying to make it through. Who knows what would have happened coming off turn 4. Runs are a little bit harder to get in the Xfinity Series car. I think either way, you got 2 cars side by side. Kligerman, that's never going to work in the Xfinity Series. So Parker Kligerman gets the win for that team. I mean, really cool story. Again, we were there for it. We're really excited for Kligerman. Another win this year. I mean, that's definitely the first time ever a driver has won twice at Daytona, across the checkered flag, across the finish line first, and will not get credit for either of those victories.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I think this is the best package. Best package still, despite the great racing Cup. I will say, look at this. I think Austin Hill and Sanchez would have gotten to second at least. Like, I think if they had just, but Austin Hill is just legitimately a terrorist. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, what are you doing? Did you think that was going to work? Like, he's a great plate racer too, which is why that's pretty shocking. I don't know. It all started when Leland Honeyman. I guess that's all.
Yeah.
Somehow it all goes back to Leland Honeyman jumping out of line from second. But like, I mean, that's That's crazy shit, man. That was a crazy finish. And that wreck was enormous, dude. There were some crazy hits in that thing.
That was. Let's take a look at Garrett Smithley's car. Absolutely cooked. This car finished in the 8th position, which I think is absolutely crazy. But really happy for Garrett, happy for your SS Greenlight Racing. We talked to him before the race, as we saw. We can roll that clip.
You win tonight, right? Hypothetically speaking.
Wow, we almost had a spit take. Jeez, that's crazy.
Guys, just to break this down from a play-by-play perspective. So we're talking about laying back in the field. Garrett Smithley's talking about his strategy. And good old Stephen J goes for a sip of the water. And I was like, hey, whatchamacallit? I was like, oh, stream suspended. Our stream got suspended. Can they still hear us?
I don't know. I'm not looking. We're not live anymore.
Damn, we got taken down.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, you were definitely playing too much NASCAR content.
Probably too much clips, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Damn. Now Austin, the comments are saying Austin Hill got us taken down because you call him a terrorist. What if you did say terrorist and we got taken down?
Oh my God.
Checkered Flag Dan says I'm making a donation to the show. Damn.
All right. Well, I had to go anyway, so I'll talk to you later.
Jeez. We'll bring Caleb in here real quick.
Well, we can't do anything with it.